The following video is not made for kids under 13. If you are not 13 years old, please exit out of the video now. And please, YouTube, do not sue me. Sup guys, Mooky here, and I'm back with another part of What If Izuku Had Cloud Strifes powers. This is part 12. In the last part, Izuku was going against Shinso, and Shinso was pissing him off. So he basically just threw him by the collar and threw him out of the ring. With that, and not only that, he was showing off lightning energy. A green lightning all around his body. With that said, let's get into this. With Izuku winning, everyone is shocked to see that it went this fast. Like there was nothing, people did expect this would happen. Since Izuku has a strong quirk and he was the highest in the entrance exam. As soon after President Mike wanted to know why was Shinso arguing with trying to rattle him up so easily. I mean, Midoriya has quite of a temper, but he still has some self-control. As Aizawa says, Shinso was one of the students who would have gone was supposed to be in the hero course. His quirk allows him to control people's minds, if people answer his questions, he's able to control them easily. As he's surprised, Shinso realizes him, just looks up into the sky as he says, "So this is really my fate. Am I seriously not going to become a hero?" As Izuku basically offers him a hand up, as he says, "Just take it, dumbass, before I get ticked off again." As he offers the hand up, and everyone basically sees that Izuku has great sportsmanship. As he says, "I'm not going to thank you. You have no idea what it's like to be like me. You have no idea how much I've suffered." As he says, "I don't. Probably in the future I still won't. But I do understand one thing. You want to try hard to become a hero. You want to give it your all. And I can respect that. But you remember... And I can guess why people say that you would be why you want to try so hard. You want to prove people wrong, that you're not a villain. Am I right? But the way you act and the way you treat people, maybe change your outlook. Just because you have a villain quirk doesn't mean you have to become a villain or act like one." As Shinso's surprised hearing this, and Izuku just goes off on his own and heads back. As Shinso is soon called by many of his general studies classmates that he is the rising star of the general studies class. With all the other pro heroes saying, "What a waste, what an awesome great quirk like that. I guess some people do fall beyond the cracks." As Shinso smiles, thinking, maybe I still got a chance. At least one small fraction of a chance. Soon after in the next match, it's basically, Sero versus Shoto. Just like in canon, he basically freezes Sero with a giant ice attack. Due to him being angry with having to deal with Endeavor. In the next match, since Hatsume was part of Shoto's team, she will replace she's gonna replace Kaminari in this spot, and also Tidus will replace Shirazu since he didn't give up his spot. So he's going to be fighting in this match. As she wanted Tidus to wear many of her babies to get, so she can show him off. Just like Ida, Tidus does agree because he thinks that, maybe I can get an advantage in battle somehow. And just like before, Titus doesn't know what to say, but he tries to be like Ida and gives out a speech saying that he wanted to help her out, as he didn't feeling like maybe he had too much of a crutch. Need a crutch so he doesn't hurt Hatsume, since her quirk is only to be able to zoom out. Midnight allows this for the time being, and just throughout the entire show, Titus is basically made a fool out of the entire time, as she basically shows each and every one of her inventions throughout the match, and soon forfeits the match just like before, with Titus feeling humiliated, but says as long as he gets to move forward, I guess that's all that matters. In the next match, Ida is facing against Tifa, and in this match, it's going to be quite interesting actually, with two rising stars within Class 1A. As Tifa says, "Good luck, Ida. I'm not gonna hold back." As Ida says, "I wouldn't have it any other way, Lockhart." And soon after, Midnight tells them to begin. Both of them run at each other as fast as they can, and Tifa counters Ida's kick with her own kick, as a small shockwave basically blows through the arena, as both of them try moving as fast as they can. Only a few people able to see how fast they're moving. And as a flurry of punches and kicks from Tifa, and so many kicks coming from Ida as well, as Tifa actually has more of the advantage actually, since she has more traditional martial arts training, and is able to use a variety of techniques being hurt, and soon she wins the fight with her beat rush, basically rushing at Ida at full speed, basically engulfing herself into somewhat fire, and basically kicking Ida almost out of the ring as hard as she can, with the match going to Tifa. As Izuku is surprised seeing this, saying that he needs to watch out for Tifa's speed, saying that she's going to be the hardest one. She may be the hardest one to fight, alongside both Cecil and Bakugo. Next match goes just like canon, with Mina and Aoyama, which Mina wins still like before. And in the next match being Cecil versus Momo. Before the match could begin, Momo was thinking on how she can counteract Cecil, believing that he only focused on long-range combat, and thinks she needs to make something strong enough to hold back all of his attacks from light and darkness before she can get in close and take him down. Cecil knows this, and many people don't know this, as just like before, Monoma tries to, show on how Class 1B's class representative is way more stronger than all of you, wondering on why he didn't get into Class 1A anyway. Soon after, Kendo basically knocks out Monoma just like before and apologized for what happened, but realized that Cecil should have gotten in Class 1A with his quirk. As the match begins, and Momo tries to create a big shield to block from his attacks, as she's prepared and tries to create a steel rod to counteract his attacks if he ever tries to when she can get close. She tries to look on why Cecil hasn't attacked her yet, until she sees that he's actually in the air, and not only that, he's holding something, that being a short spear, as she's wondering that I know he can fly, but he can create weapons too, as Aizawa explains, Cecil's quirk, part light and part darkness. He's able to create not just energy blasts from different types of his quirk, but also is able to create many type weapons. Through these weapons, there are constructs of his quirks, he can only switch between the two of them. He can't use both light and darkness at the same time. As he goes up as he flies back down and tries to attacks Momo. While doing this, he creates a moon satellite, being a small drone-like spear of light that shoots blasts from behind her. Soon after, he switches to darkness and decides to use his most powerful attack, Shadow Force, which a shockwave slash of darkness. It slices through her shield easily, and Cecil basically knocks her back with a cross-like dark slash to her. However, he held back on the attack while knocking her back, so she wouldn't get hurt too much from it. Soon after, that Midnight calls that Momo is out of bounds, and the winner is Cecil, seeing his power. As everyone is surprised seeing this, saying that that Cecil is strong, really strong, and wondering why somebody like him wasn't in Class 1A, believing that he is pretty strong, as Izuku knows the reason why, and that reason is the very person that vows to defeat him. In the next couple of matches, Tetsu and Kirishima fight just like before. It ends up being a draw, with the next match being Bakugo and Ochiko, just like in canon. While Ochiko's preparing, Izuku wanted to give her some advice on how to counteract, Bakugo's quirk and abilities to win the match. And she says that, I got this, don't need to worry about me. As even Tifa began thinking, maybe you should. As she says that Katsuki is not an easy guy to beat, thankfully. I mean, I grew up with him through my childhood, so yeah. Soon after, Ochiko still believes that she's got this, with a thumbs up to both Izuku, Ida, and Tifa as well, as all three of them do seem a little bit worried. However, Izuku says, don't worry, I believe she's got this. However, it still goes just like a canon, as Bakugo still wins, with Ochiko still losing, but everybody could respect her determination and her will to keep going, and she gave it everything she could in that fight, with Bakugo getting pissed at Izuku, saying, hey Deku, did you give that round-faced girl any advice on beating me? Because seriously, that match was annoying as hell. As Izuku saying, and begins laughing like crazy, and she says, what's so funny, you damn nerd? As he says, that match, if you had a hard time in that match, then that means that she thought of that plan all on her own. If I gave her any advice, I think she would at least kick your ass, if I do say so. With walking off and preparing for his next match against Shoto, with Bakugo getting irritated, saying, you little bastard, I swear if you don't make it to the finals, I'm gonna kill you! You got it! With Izuku just waving, yeah, whatever. And then running into Endeavor, just like in canon, with him saying, so you're the one fighting against my Shoto. And through the match, I realized that your quirk is pretty similar to All Might's. My son, Shoto, is going to surpass All Might, so fighting against you is a good training. Make sure he fights with everything he's got. I'm really getting tired of his rebelliousness. As Endeavor about to leave, Izuku says, "Then that's your own damn fault." As he says, "What?" And soon after, Izuku looks at him with cold eyes and says, "It's your own damn fault on why he's rebelling against you. If anything, I don't blame him. Because you shouldn't think of your son as you. And I'm not All Might. We're our own people. I'm going to fight him with everything I got. It's because I'm his classmate. But I'm not doing it for you." As Izuku leaves, it says, and Endeavor thinking, "This kid." After that interaction, Izuku walks outside and onto the arena with Shoto also there with Midnight announcing both of them. As Izuku says, "So, what are you going to do, Todoroki? Are you going to take my words to heart, or are you still going to hold back?" As Shoto says, "I will beat you, but only with my right side. I don't want you holding back either." As he says, "Fine then, you're going to lose this match." And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun thinking about the scenarios these fights would go on, especially with both Tidus and Tifa and Cecil being in the matches. I hope you enjoyed them. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below, and also like and subscribe, which again helps out my channel a lot. At any rate, this is Mooky signing out. Later, guys.